Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I did a video, and then right after I did that video, if you take a look at the minutes between the two, I did the next video. And I was going to keep them both really short, but the second one I made just a little bit longer. And there's no audio in it. That's the games people play. Okay? And because people play those stupid games, I have to do another video. All right? So this is the second video, and we're going to go to DeepSeek, because that's where the information was. DeepSeeking. And I have to select the FedWire. Nope, not FedWire. FedWire is a different conversation, but we're going to talk about that eventually, okay? A much better conversation than you've ever heard about FedWire, but we're going to talk about that. We ain't going to talk about it today. Ladies and gentlemen, what I did in this conversation is I took the entire conversation. If you watch the video, I'm going to leave that other video up. This is going to be the one with audio. The Supreme Court in Smith versus Kansas City Title and Trust Company in 1921 says, when Congress uses its authority to classify a promissory note as eligible paper or eligible instrument, whose legal effect is determined by the act received at par once deposited, the Supreme Court in Norman versus Baltimore and Ohio Railroad recognized Congress's exclusive constitutional power to define the monetary and redemption status of obligations transferred into the Federal Reserve banking system or mechanism. Basically, they say that if Congress says it's to be received at par, that's what it's received at. It is par value, and the courts don't get to circumvent that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, in your state, in my state, in every other state, this is the case. But they are saying, pay attention, that your transaction is governed under state law and not federal law. Well, if it's a promissory note delivered to a Federal Reserve bank or Federal Reserve local agent, then it is under federal law, known as the Federal Reserve Act. They can't get around that because the Federal Reserve Act identifies them as eligible paper. State law doesn't have any control over that contract. Why? Because it deals with commerce. Congress controls commerce, not the state. And it deals with interstate commerce because most of the banks are not headquartered in the state where the mortgage is established. And one more proof that it deals with federal, because the bank in a conventional home loan is registered with the Federal Reserve, including credit unions. So, ladies and gentlemen, take the time. The same link will be in this video as in the other. Read the case citations, confirm the case citations, and go ahead and stop them from taking your home. Okay? It is a federal issue, not a state issue. State law does not supersede what your note is considered. They're talking about it's a simple contract under state law. No, it's a simple contract under federal law of a family of eligible papers. Ta-da! All right, have a good day, everybody.